latest news. Again, people don't forget PSV later. PSV Arsenal, that is. So yeah, let's get into it really. Let's start backwards, really. Let's start backwards. No, let's not start backwards. We'll get into the press conference in a second. Definitely get into that in a second. Where do we start? Where do we start? Almost forgot what I was doing there, people. But yeah, starting here. Obviously, as you know, Edu has been linked with a bag of clubs, allegedly. Arteta really doesn't want Arsenal to lose one man after Romano update, people. As you know, Edu last night, it came out that he's in talks to sign a new deal. Arteta signed a new deal last summer, trying to get Saliba, Martinelli, and Saka tied down. Hopefully, Patino and young Ethan as well. And it would make sense to tie down the technical director to give the impression to the players that are here and potential players that could come that we're here for the long term and reaffirm our belief, people. The manager said, I hope that he stays for a long time because I think it's going to be really positive for the club. Hopefully that will be the case. Allegedly, Edu is a wanted man, people, and he's gaining a lot of admirers in Europe. Maybe not so much for selling or ripping up deals, but maybe with this youngster project. But I don't know. Maybe it's overstated. I don't know. Arsenal are in talks with Edu over a new long-term contract. His work has impressed a number of rival clubs, including PSG. But sources tell us, this is from Graham Bailey, his aim is to bring a first ever Premier League crown to the Emirates. Hopefully, my guy, I hope it is the aim, man. I hope it is the aim. If we're not aspiring to do that, what we doing, really? So yeah, it is what it is. Arsenal planning to make moves for Danilo, Mudryk, and Yeremy in January transfer window to boost title hopes. Now, Mark Irwin, Arsenal fans, going to hear that they're going to get horny in it. They're going to get very excited. We don't know what's going to happen. So the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. 117 likes. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. If not, then you're just not a nice person. But anyways, Arsenal are plotting a January splurge with Danilo, Mudryk, and Yeremy Pino among the top targets. Are we able to get all three? Are we able to get two of the three? I don't know. I can't see us signing Mudryk and Pino. That's two wingers, probably a midfielder and a winger, and we're done. Gunners Chiefs backed Mikel Arteta with 130 million in the summer and are set to give him another 50 million to spend in January. Is that going to buy two players? Any two of those three? I don't know. But anyways, the club's hierarchy have been pleasantly surprised by Arsenal's blistering start to the season. And while we're all surprised, I want to get into a scenario where it's not a surprise. Why are we surprised about that? We should be in a club, as a club, where that's a minimum, really. And I know we're not there yet, but that's what I want to see. Scrolling all the way down, we've used about 15 players for as much as there's a 25-man squad. The move for Douglas Luiz didn't bang. Allegedly, where Palmeiras star Danilo's concerned, we were prepared to pay 22 million, but it weren't to happen. The Brazilian league is now finished, people, and apparently we're set to test their resolve with a 26 million pound bid. We're also in the market for another winger, and Mudryk's been doing all right. Apparently, we're going for him. You see everything from 35 to 50 million euros where he's concerned. And apparently Yeremy Pino could also cost 25 million. In fact, it said who would both cost somewhere in the region of 25 million. So fair enough if it could be done. Yeremy Pino's capped 6 times for Spain. We all saw the banger that Mudryk scored against Celtic. Again, Yeremy Pino's got 91 appearances for Villarreal. Maybe they do need to sell. It could be an end of an era with Emre keeping it moving. But that tells you he's experienced, but there is a lot more to come from him, man. He's netted 15 times. So that's someone that's still learning the tricks and trades and someone that can tie in with what we're doing. But in terms of an immediate impact based on the data, can't say I could see that right now, people. But all three are welcome. Romano says Arsenal target is an absolute top talent and he's open to Arsenal move. Allegedly, we've heard this before, people, and we've also, again, this is probably the last time I'll read these Mudryk quotes, but if you haven't heard it, previously he said when the window's shut, yes, I think every guy dreams about the Premier League. Arsenal is a very good team, very good coach. I like the way they play. Yes, from my side, I can't say no, but a transfer is not only my decision, people. So it is true, people. I mean, Ben Jacobs, who seems to be living off this, and Romano said he's a talented player. It's pretty clear now why Shakhtar Donetsk have turned down 26 million, 30 million euros in August for him. He's a really top talent. He's worth more than 45 to 50. That equates to 39 to 43 million pound quid, according to Shakhtar, people. And he's been linked. There's more links where Mudryk is concerned as well, people. Club director speaks about Arsenal and Man City interest in stars, suggests 100 million euros is needed. Okay. The headlines are on him, but I say that the Italians always come later. Now it's easy to observe him, but it was possible to do it before. The Italians bring low proposals. We don't even sit down to negotiate. So once again, what does that tell you? They want to sell to the highest bidder and probably to the English tourists. There are many English candidates. There is the Spanish on duty, the French on duty, but now it takes that right amount to take him away. Together with Mbappe, Leao, Vinicius, Mudryk is the strongest player in that position. What? No Ridrago? No. Again, between Arsenal and City, they are two teams that have taken an interest in the player, but there are also other clubs that can spend right away. And apparently, it was reported earlier that 50 million euros. The same guy has said, who is their sporting, that one of their directors allegedly, is 40 million euros enough to buy him? We do not speak these figures, not even for 50 million. We don't even call the president to communicate the offer. We value Mudryk more than Anthony of Manchester United, who cost 100 million. Of course, you know, there's a lot of sentimental value behind it. Of course, you're going to do that. And you just want to sell to the highest bidder. You know, much like in business, if you try and buy an item of someone, like if you try and buy someone's business that's failing for 50 years or 20 years, they're going to want a lot more because there's an emotional attachment. And now's not really the time to talk about transfers anyways, but we are not obliged to sell. We do not want to make phenomena. We don't want to shoot figures that aren't realistic, but in this team, he is the most decisive. Not really hard. If you want to take on certain players who make a difference in the top teams, you also need the right money. People would say it's only sell it respectfully. So he's name dropped Arsenal and City. That just tells you, you know, get a move on. But 1 minute, Sevilla are the front runners. He's open to joining Newcastle. We had a few weeks ago, Nice were the ones on to win, people. So make of that what you will. Fabrizio Romano said there's ongoing speculation about who Arsenal could look to sign in midfield this January. Danilo is one of the players Arsenal have been following for a long time. He was also discussed internally last summer, but at the moment, there are no talks ongoing, people. And that conflicts what the Metro and everyone else is saying. Arsenal plot £26 million bid for Palmeiras midfielder after the World Cup, which, again, we've got a Winter World Cup. And again, people, he's got a release clause of 86.6 million. We had a £20 million bid rejected. He's contracted until 2026. We're planning to bid 26 million once the World Cup is over. Apparently, the report claims that Arsenal believe Palmeiras could now be willing to sell Danilo once their season ends next month, people. So we'll have to see how that one day is going on. And their president said when the window closed, I said he wasn't going to leave, and he didn't. I will tell you, players of this size, important to the history of Palmeiras, I don't make decisions alone. I always consult our coaching staff. If my coach says he can't lose the player under any circumstances, he doesn't leave. So there you have it, people. And again, you know, just conflicting, you know, correlating better yet, that Arsenal have held internal discussions about potential transfer moves for Danilo, which again isn't groundbreaking, people. Romano seems unsure about these claims and also suggests the North London Giants might do better to wait until the summer when Yuri Telemans will be a free agent. Danilo is one of the players Arsenal have been following for a long time. He's also discussed internally last summer, but at the moment, there are no talks ongoing. Personally, I think Telemans coming towards the end of his contract is a great opportunity on the market for Arsenal and any other club. So I don't know what that specifically means, but there you have it, man. Don't think Danilo's good enough, says my dude. Bro, 30 million max, he ain't worth it. I hear that. 100 million on Mudryk, smoking the finest, man. Best hope Emre don't tap up Pino and bring him to Villa. Brazy. With 70 M's. As much as I like that guy at Napoli, he's been there 2 minutes, innit? So we need to see more. For as much as I'm convinced and would get the move done tomorrow if I could. Milinkovic-Savic has been linked with us, people, consistently. And once again, their president has said, at this moment, I'm not selling Milinkovic-Savic. I will offer him a contract renewal today. He is worth 120 million euros, around 100 million in brackets. So unless you're going to, you know, the summer window where he's contracted until 2024, you're not going to get him in Jan, are you, people? So, yeah. And also, we're not in the Champions League. So at the moment, this was comments a while back, but if we're not in the Champions League, you can forget about it. These are not options for him. Though on the Arsenal Newcastle links, he wants to play Champions League football consistently in the future. So, boy, put the money down, get Champions League 1 year, lie to him and say that we're going to do this consistently, innit? Arsenal have done their due diligence for Ivan Ndika, according to reports, and we've been linked to him. Well, if you want to sign a player, you're going to have to watch him and be convinced, people. So apparently, Jacobs of Give Me Sports said they've certainly done their legwork and their due diligence, and they're scouting on him. We've been linked to him for a minute. There's a lot of interest in the player, not just from the Premier League, but from all across Europe. 23 years of age, contract running down, you know, left-sided centre-back, I'm having it. And Pablo Marie's been speaking about his 2-year masterclass with Mikel Arteta. He's a coach who has changed my vision of football. I've done a 2-year masterclass with him. Yes, of course, I'm watching Arsenal. For me, the key has been The key has been a word called time. It doesn't surprise me because it was clear that their way of working would give them a lot of joy. Yeah, with you leaving the club. Big up you. Arsenal make 50 million hard cash transfer decision as Leicester talk continues. What does this mean? There's talk of signing him in January. We'll have to see, people. But I can't believe that at this moment in time. Fabrizio Romano issues Chelsea blow for 43 million star wanted by Arsenal. This is in relation to Edson Alvarez, who, if you remember, the footballer Snyder said that they should have sold him. Like he said, he basically criticized his passing ability and overall ability, people. We were linked with him. He can play midfield as well as in defense, adaptable in that. They were never going to sell Anthony Lissandro Martinez, Gravenberch, I believe, and also him. He's probably the next recruits, people. He's always been on Chelsea's list, but Ajax will try to keep him at least until the end of the season. There are no negotiations ongoing. Also, no decision will be made by Chelsea on a new midfielder in October. It will take some time, not an easy one for sure. So, yeah, I don't think that one they're just forcing it with us, our name being dropped. United more likely than Arsenal to land summer target, no doubt, over 2023 transfer. This is in relation to Cody Gakpo, people. What has this said? He's been brilliant this season for PSV, according to Dean Jones, this is. And there's no doubt that he's going to be looking for a transfer in 2023. So I think he's a player that people should take seriously in the Premier League. And he had interest from Arsenal, from Man United, Leeds and Southampton. If he wanted it, he could have joined them. As the man himself said. He said, I still think that probably United are more likely to land him than Arsenal. Last month, he said, I was close to leaving. I spoke to Ten Hag a few times at Man United. In the end, the deal didn't go through, which was a shame for me and my development. And because Man United is one of the biggest clubs in the world, but also for PSV, because to transfer a player to Man United is a good thing for the club. It ended about a week before the end of the transfer window. And in that week, I had to decide if I would go to Leeds or Southampton. In the end, I stayed, but it was a stressful period. There you have it, people. In relation to him, Arteta says player is yet to prove himself, and that's in relation to Lokonga. We'll see more. He has to prove that what he's asking for, he can produce. We're looking for every player to raise their level and get the right competition. When you perform in the way that we win and play well enough to win games, crazy. So we'll get into that. But yeah, less chattings, more slappings. Top clubs we've already seen this. So I believe that's that, people. Really, this is just for my own news. So yeah, that is that in relation to the latest news, people. Let me see what you lot are saying before we obviously look at Mikel Arteta's press conference. Big up you lot for tuning in, people, so far. So yeah, that's that. 100 mil, that's a madness. The scum news is always ish, never read. I can't lie. You're not alone. You're not alone. Bro, this transfer thing is mad. Bare players overpriced. Of course, January is difficult. People overpriced. People know English clubs got money. They're always going to run that. No one wants to sell good players. I would take Gakpo all day, but United is key because of the Dutch connection. I'd be surprised if we make one Jan signing, says Darren. Alvarez would be good rotation for Partey, but yeah, his passing is meaty.